Hello, and welcome back to Factorio. We're still playing Exotic Industries, and I have been working through a to-do list, but I keep adding things onto it. So the things I have currently is concrete, which is what we've been working up to the last couple of episodes. And then the next major intermediate is sulfur, because that opens up the pathway to explosives and cliff explosives, which will help us better clear off annoying things like this and give us a lot more real estate. The other thing I want to add on to this is remove the legacy bus. It's time for that to go away. And then we have right. Let's look on the map, and I'll explain from the map. Okay, if we turn off our pollution cloud, there are these things called patches. So sulfur patches, iron patches. That's a coal area. Iron ore, yeah, that's normal iron ore patch. Down here, we've got an iron patch rather than just some ore on the ground. There's a patch. And it looks like these are things that require a different type of mining thing. So there's the crystal grower, which I'm assuming we do something with what we mine out of the ground. And there is the deep drill. So I'm assuming you put a deep drill down over one of the 2x2 or 4x4 patches, whatever size they are. I'm assuming that produces chunks of something, and then I assume that you then put that through the crystal grower and to get out I don't know, something you can smelt maybe. Anyway, this is all stuff we are going to investigate, but we're not going to investigate it right now. So what was I going to do? Right, so we're going to add a task, which is we're going to call it patch mining. Okay, so the other thing I did off camera was I fixed up this build. You were probably shouting at the screen quite a lot. I should have just had 6 smelters to the side, because that is enough to consume half a belt of material and put out a quarter a belt of stone of bricks. If I did that, I only needed 16 quarries. And then that ratio works out correctly, near enough. And I don't need any red belt. So yeah, this is the better build. And also you can see that if I had done it this size, I could have shifted everything down 1 tile and over 1 tile, and it would have fitted nicely into our standard footprint. So the next time I build a stone setup like this, I will make those improvements. Right, back to concrete. There are 2 concrete recipes. I think I might have mentioned this before, but we'll mention it anyway. There's one that requires slag and one that requires, so I'll put that one down. So this would take in bricks, slag, and sand. This one takes in bricks, poor iron chunks, and sand. I think in theory we have plenty of poor iron chunks, because we can always mine more poor iron chunks out the ground. The slag is a byproduct which I think we need for making dirty water, or there's some kind of fluid which you make from slag, which I think we need later on. So we're not going to use that recipe, so we're going to use this one. Okay, so this needs sand, poor iron chunks, and bricks. We can bring the bricks and the iron chunks in, obviously. So let's put down a couple of those. We need an output here. And we'll do the standard thing with a loader. Now, I'm a bit in 2 minds on this. I like the idea of having a lot of concrete being made. On the other hand, yeah, I'm just not sure how much I need in practice. So this would be as far up as let's turn our bots off. This would be as far up as it could go. So if I take these 2, so we could do 8 machines like that. Sorry, the other 8. That's the other 8. Which I think is very clearly overkill. However, we could, for now, just do those 4 machines. So this is going to be a fairly standard build. And if we line it up like this, then it'll be the right way round for this thing here, so that there aren't arms interacting directly with that. And then these also need sand. Now, it might be the sand which is the limiting factor here. So if we had a crusher, and I'll need to put some stone in to set the recipe for this crusher. Oh no, I can do it by picking the recipe. That's nice. That's an improvement over the Crastorio crusher. All right. So this is slightly too much sand, which means it's perfect, doesn't it? So that's our build here. And then how much stone do we need? Okay, I haven't got any of these crafted. Let's see. To make some of these, I need some stone quarries, which require... Oh, I have got some. Here we go. I have 8. That may not be enough. Okay, so one of these, I'm very slightly under for stone, but I'm very slightly over for sand. So I think, again, this... That's pretty nice, isn't it? I like that. Let's just copy paste that recipe over. Okay, so that is our concrete design. And let's put a second build of this here. That's it. Then we can trim back the output belt for now, and we can trim back the input belt for now. These aren't exactly lined up correctly. Whoops, sorry about that. So let's turn on our bots and see if we can get this built. Okay, we're going to need some power poles. There we go. And what do I do? Do I flip this? Yeah. Good, and it didn't muck up the inserters. And then let's run that up there. Okay, and then this can be concrete. So we request concrete. Now notice, I'll show you that again. When we were doing the request, there's only the one concrete here. It's just concrete. When we were setting recipes, there were multiple concrete recipes. In the internals of Factorio, it makes a distinction between recipes and the items themselves. So when you're on the crafting menu, it's listing recipes for things. When you set an item, like for a signal, it'll pick the item type rather than the recipe type. Yeah. Took me a while to get my head around that, particularly when I was fiddling around inside mods. All right, what was the other thing we wanted here? We wanted poor iron chunks. There we go. So this should now be everything we need to set up concrete. And I'm going to limit this for now, because I don't want to turn all of our iron chunks into concrete. Okay, and then we have quite a lot of brick in our inventory already, but what I'm wondering, let's get this one thing tiled out. Okay. There we go. Then it's do I want to put in a strip up the side? I think I do. This is purely a question of aesthetics here. So let's press the minus sign to get back to a single tile. Okay. Brilliant. Now, tiling the floor isn't merely a question of aesthetics, although it is a question of aesthetics. One of the mods we have installed, Nox's trees, I think, means that trees regrow. So as we have been clearing trees, for example, I cleared a lot of trees around the power plant, but then they've started growing back. They were all the way around here not that long ago. I had quite a big fire around here, but we have trees back near up against the wall. So trees are an ever-present danger, particularly since they explode horrifically. So one of the ways you can stop the trees is to put down flooring, and then the trees aren't very keen to grow through the floor. Let's just grab a bit of... Yeah. Okay, so in some mods you can use stone as a cheap flooring, but that's not supported here. So, oh, I've set the wrong... This shouldn't be concrete, should it? This should be brick. Stone brick. Concrete is not an input to concrete. Stone brick is. There we go. Alright, and then this should get going in a moment. So let's just double check we're getting this correct so far. Yes, we are. And then drop in some of the brick from my inventory. This will get supplied in a moment with petroleum, and then we'll get brick in the legitimate way. But I just want to see these things actually crafting. So there we are. These are putting out concrete, and the other thing I want to check is that they can put it out quick enough. They clearly can. The production cycle here is relatively slow. Okay, so if we grab a bit of concrete here, what I'm thinking is we could fill in this central area with concrete. And I think that's going to look pretty good. So it's slightly asymmetric. So I'm giving myself a skirt that is 4 wide at the top and 3 wide at the bottom. We'll see how that looks. The issue is that let's go into the map. Okay, so we want to be able to fit a roboport here, although in this case we have a power pole in the way. Let's go back to the map. We're going to grab this and put it down on a... Oh, it's already on a... It's already on a tool belt. Okay, so that's where that would go, and I kind of want that to be entirely within a piece of flooring. The other option would be to use hazard concrete, but if I start fiddling around with hazard concrete, then I'm going to have to have another production process, which seems like a lot of work before we get logistics robots. So you might have noticed that I haven't set up a MAL yet. It's for 2 reasons. The first reason is that I don't know the mod pack, so I don't really know what needs to be in a MAL, and you tend to find that if you build a MAL not knowing what's going in it, that the MAL becomes very messy. The second reason is I really can't be bothered with a belt-based MAL. I know it's something which people love, and I'll probably get hate mail for not having made one. But part of the reason I installed some quality of life mods was so that I would have access to faster crafting. Okay, are we... Is this... Yeah, I think that's that. So if we... I've run over the edges slightly here. Let's press minus to get back to a single brick wide. There we go. So I quite like that. The other option would be to extend this up a single tile, except for that corner. There we go. So that's the other option. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, it's not too bad, is it? Let's go with that for now. What I'm going to do is nothing at all. I could take a blueprint of this, but at the moment I don't have a reliable way to put down flooring. So there's little point me making the blueprint with the flooring there and then ending up with the loads and loads of outstanding construction job flashing lights. But you get the idea. So I would really like to research my way to robotics. Okay. So construction robots is the one that gives us all these goodies. To get to construction robots, I have to do advanced electronics. I've done all of these, flight and construction robotics. Okay, so that looks like it's the next lot of researches, and we'll queue that up and get on with something else. All right, task 2 for today was sulfur, because I was very keen that we be able to move towards explosives. But just while we're here, let's kill those trees. I'm sure I had already destroyed those trees. I'm not really sure how... Yeah, I'm not really sure how they came back. They must have respawned because I didn't tile the floor. Alright, so there are 2 recipes for sulfur. Okay, there's one recipe for sulfur that takes acidic water, and one that takes water and petroleum. We do not have acidic water, and anyway, I've got a feeling that's part of a production loop. So we're going to go for the one that is pretty much the same as vanilla. Okay, let's move that down a tile. There we go. So this is going to make sulfur out of water and petroleum. And it's one of these things that has 2 liquid inputs, so you can't put the plants next to each other in a nice simple way. Okay, you can do this, or you can do a bar. I think I'll do this for now because it's a bit neater. Okay, so that's the basic design. Let's grab that. And we're starting to get into a bit of a rhythm for what designs look like. Does this have any solid inputs? No, it doesn't. Okay, so that's fine. Alright, so then the next question is just how much can we do? So it looks like if we wanted to, we could do 2 builds within the same footprint. Yeah. But I'm not sure how that's going to work in practice. From memory, sulfur fills up belts very quickly. Perhaps it's better to not do this from memory then. Alright, if we get rate calculator, so a single machine is 0.13 of a transport belt. Okay, so 8 machines just overfills a transport belt. So let's cut that, get rid of that. Okay, so that is a transport belt of sulfur. And at the moment, I doubt we need more than 1 transport belt of sulfur. Alright, let's just copy this. Is it going to be possible to fit? No, it's not going to be possible to fit 2 of these builds stacked. So the only way we could do it is side by side, and then I think we're probably going to run into petroleum supply problems. So for now, we'll do it like this. There's nothing wrong with this build, is there? And if we need more sulfur, we will do something about it. Okay, so it looks like we need another couple of chemical plants. Oh, we've upgraded from heated chemical plants to chemical plants, which is nice. Right, can't do that because I don't have these. Can't do this because I don't have copper. So we'll grab some copper. Oh, there's no copper there. That's interesting. No copper there. No copper here because this is full of slag. Because we're not processing the slag. So much for me not turning the slag into concrete. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Can we set up a loader with filters? Yes, we can. So this can filter for slag. Sorry, I can't say that without thinking of EastEnders. There we go. Alright, so this is going to pull the slag out of here. And once it has, the copper will flow. Good. In the meantime, I'm going to grab a couple of stacks of copper. Alright. Where were we? We were going to make a couple more of these. Okay, so we're missing the output arms now. Again, what's the output on a single one of these? We can look at it in terms of inserters, actually. Okay, so it's 0.43 of a fast inserter, 1.2 of a slow inserter. So this looks like it's a job for fast inserters. Okay, so 8 of those. I've used very few fast inserters so far. It's all been longs and slows, which I'm quite pleased with. Good. Okay, and then we do have a couple of questions. I'm going to put the belts, sorry, I'm going to put the power poles in the middle like that, just for aesthetics. Good. So I need a couple of request depots. No, I need one request depot for petroleum. Okay, and then I think we can just go like that. Did I get the right thing? Yeah, like that. Okay, so this all joins up. And then the water we can just get by a pump, I think. There we go. And we need an offshore pump. Let's make 5 of those because they seem to be something I need a lot of. Okay, line it up. There we go. Oh, brilliant. So let's set this up to request petroleum. And this should really help with our petroleum throughput because we're now consuming petroleum in an industrial quantity. Sulfur, I've got no idea how much I need. Let's do 2 rows for now. And that's our petroleum build. So once we have it, sorry, that's our sulfur build. Once we have it, we can make explosives. And should we make an explosives module? All right, what is the recipe for that? That's coal, sulfur, and water. All right, so that looks like this is a good place for it, doesn't it? And what is it made in? Chemical plants. So if I had another 4 chemical plants, which again, this time I need steel. So let's grab some steel out of the steel build. Here we go. Good. And we'll make 4 of those. And then how are we doing for underground belts. Seems we're quite low on them, and because of iron plate. Curiouser and curiouser. I want to double check that our iron smelter hasn't backed up like our copper one had. Okay, so let's head over here. Yes, it has. Okay, so we can copy this exact thing here. Yeah, this is a bit of a shame, isn't it? Okay. So this will do the job, I think. So what was it I was going to do? I was going to make some underground belts. That should be enough for now. I'm just going to stand here until the red thing gets put down. I can't remember what they're called. There we are. Alright, so that starts iron flowing again. Phew. So let's head on. Ah, brilliant. So now that this is taking in petroleum, you can see this is being supplied because the whole facility is running again. So our power situation is nicer. Right, so we're making sulfur. Have we seriously already filled this? Okay, let's just uncap that. I think this is a resource we don't need to worry about right now. So where was I? I'd like to put it here, but for that... Alright. I have a thought, which is, can I set this to... Yeah, I can. So this requires water to work. There we go. It requires power. I've grabbed up some sulfur by hand. This is going to make some explosives, because I just would like to make some cliff explosives. What is the recipe for cliff explosives? Okay, so I need 10 explosives and a grenade, and the grenade needs coal. Okay, let's find somewhere that has coal. Here's some coal. Good. Oh, that's loads of coal. Don't know if I meant to put quite that much coal in. Okay. Can I make a cliff explosive? I can. That is so exciting. It shouldn't be exciting, but it really is. Okay. So then I can... Oh, simple things. I'm the joy of just being able to blow up a cliff. Alright. And I'm just waiting on some explosives to be able to do the next bit of cliff. Brilliant. There's those ones there to get rid of. Alright, so this just requires water and do I want... Okay, we are running low on basics here, which is not a problem, but we'll have to do something about it. Okay, and then I really don't know how big a build I want. So this has coal as an input, so let's give it an input belt. Okay, so that would be 8 of them. It's quite a long craft, so let's get rid of the top 2 and the bottom 2. Whoops. Okay, and it's this recipe, which just needs water. Good. And then they're going to need outputs and inputs. And then they'll need the corresponding inputs and outputs. we're going to need pipe. Good. And a pump, which are hiding, and I can never find the things. And can we fill? We can if... Alright, let's take that away, put in a couple of bits of landfill. And I think it's time for my inventory to be used for construction. Okay. In fact, if I take that landfill out one more... Is that too far? I think that's too far. Oh well, never mind. Alright. Brilliant. Let's take this away, and we can make another 4 of these. Good. And then we can power it up, turn it on, and then I think that's today. We'll call today a day after this. Okay, this isn't joining on. Power poles have this thing where they can only have so many connections. I think it's a maximum of 5 for large power poles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, and as soon as they're above that limit, new poles near them won't connect, which is very frustrating. Alright, so this needs coal. Brilliant. So I'm not really a fan of these single input, single output modules, but to be honest, for something like explosives, I can live with it. Explosives, let's limit to a single row, and then can I create any more? I can. 5 more of these cliff explosives. That's brilliant, isn't it? I'm going to add them to my hotbar because they are something I think I'll be using more than occasionally. And then this actually gives us a new block here that we didn't have access to before. And we can tidy up this bit of road, which makes me happy in so many ways. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to leave that here. We've done things. We have made sulfur. We've made explosives, we have done some cliff explosiving, we have made concrete, and we have set the research chain going to be able to get to construction bots. So that's pretty productive. I'm going to call that it. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.